Today, I'm here with my good friend Nemo, and we both have Diablo Immortal in our hands. We're here with episode 3 of the Immortal podcast, ready to take your questions about our experience in the game. Let's get into it. This is an exciting one because we finally have the game. Diablo Immortal is here in alpha. Nemo and I have had our hands on it since Monday, diving into different characters. Between the both of us, we've played every character that's available inside of the alpha, and we're here today to talk about our experience and, more importantly, to take your questions in the chat. And we're going to directly, grab those questions. This is the first time the Immortal podcast is here on Twitch. It's going to be uploaded later on today on my YouTube channel, ECHO Gaming Diablo. So if you're not following me here on Twitch and you're watching this as a video, make sure you do so you don't miss any of it. But Nemo, my man, welcome to the podcast. How you doing today, man?
Oh, I'm doing so good, Echo. Thanks so much for having me. What's up, fam? What's up, everybody? Super pumped. We've had this is the 7th day in Sanctuary, and it's good. Yeah, so much to talk about today. I don't even know where to start. So, Echo, let's get going. I'm pumped.
Yeah, well, I want to remind everyone that we are here to connect with the community. This show is all about the questions that you guys have. That's what drives the show. Nemo and I, we have a couple of ideas of things that we're going to be talking about, but we really want to answer what you guys have questions about. Cool thing about today is you're not going to have to just look at our faces the entire time. We actually have the game rolling, as you can see right now. I'm sitting on my screen. As you guys can see, I'm starting my second character as the monk, my level 29 monk as of right now, and I have my max level for alpha, level 45 Demon Hunter, who's also rocking a few legendary items. We're gonna actually enter with my Demon Hunter just in case I want to show you guys some stuff. Now, I'm not gonna be playing while we're doing this because I'm not gonna be able to focus. I'll be so into the game, I won't be able to focus on the discussion. But I figure here, if we have things that we want to show you guys, I can kind of just direct us there and we could talk about it from there. So, Nemo and I are both playing Diablo Immortal. He's playing as the Barbarian. Now he's also starting up his Wizard class. I am, as you saw, the Monk and the Demon Hunter. Now, everyone's been asking me, and this is where we're going to start it out, Nemo, which class do I like better out of the Demon Hunter or the Monk? Or which is the best class inside of Diablo Immortal? And this is really up to you and your gameplay style, in my opinion, because if you're someone that likes to get up in there and get right in the action, you're going to want to use the Monk or the Barbarian. If you're more of a ranged DPS person, you're going to be enjoying the use of the Wizard or the Demon Hunter. So for me, I personally enjoy the Monk more than I enjoy the Demon Hunter. But with that being said, it doesn't mean it's a better character. It just means it fits my playstyle better. How about you, Nemo, with your experience so far? What are you liking?
That's a tough one. I agree and have to, kind of echo what you said. You have to be either, like, if you want to be a melee character and want to be in the front, hack and slash, use axes and things like that and just get in there and, like, get into the action, that definitely would be like a monk and a barbarian. But if you're, like, a DPS type of person that likes to sit back and, do kind of stuff, the Wizard, of course, and then the Demon Hunter would be your characters. Me, I started with the Barbarian. I put in, like, I don't know, maybe 14 hours into the Barbarian. I'm a Paragon 3 max right now. I got a couple of legendaries. So far, I've got a pretty good feel for the Barbarian, and he's amazing, right? That character, wow, like, it's just really nice. I love the way you can get in there. I love the way, like, the lots of power you can have. You can kind of be tanky. And if you, like me and you, when we were playing together, and when you were a Demon Hunter and I was a Barbarian, it worked really well.
Right.
Kind of can't wait to try me and you being a Barbarian and a Monk to see what happens, because that would be kind of interesting as well. Wizard, completely different play than the Barbarian, but it's so refreshing to, like, play as a Barbarian for a bunch of hours, get used to it, play, like, really understand it, and then jump into the Wizard and understand that it's a completely different type of play, totally different game. It's really refreshing to be able to play the different characters and play Diablo over again in completely different ways. Wizard's definitely OP. I can't really pick one so far. I'd say Barbarian because I have the most experience.
Yeah, I hear you. And something that just came up, I have some questions about the game as well that I don't even know the answers to yet. So it's been told to us from the developers over at Blizzard that there's going to be a question and answer session. It's not going to be live. It's not going to be broadcast anywhere, but us creators, us people that are working with Blizzard, we are able to bring them questions that we have or that our community has about the game. So what you guys can do is, if you have any questions that we can't answer, maybe some back-end Blizzard questions, hit us up on the Discord server. The Discord's in the panels below. Tag us, and we could take those questions and bring them to Blizzard for this question and answer session. Because again, it's not going to be broadcast, but we can get the answers and then bring them guys to you guys in content. Now, we did have a question come in from, well, Sant, can't read that name, but it's all good. I have a question for both of you guys. You started the podcast 3 weeks ago or so. It's actually been like 6 weeks because we're on episode 3. It's bi-weekly. Does anyone know about the alpha? Did we know about the alpha before that? And Nemo, you want to take it?
Sure. We were told about the alpha a few days before, and we got the game 6 days ago. So we were able to play for about 3 days before it went out and became public. So no, we didn't know. It was a complete and absolute surprise. And let me tell you, it made my 2020. 2020 sucked so far, and then Blizzard came out and said, here, try Diablo Immortal, and it just made it all better. Like, it took totally. Right at the end, too, right before the new year. Thank you, Blizzard. No, we didn't know.
Yeah.
Very excited, though.
Right. So they kind of just hit us up, and it was an exciting thing, of course. I mean, we were putting out all these speculation videos. When do we think? And we're still doing that, right? Because we still don't know when, like, the real beta is coming out to everyone. Right now, the game's only available in Australia, and to people that pre-registered from Australia, and to certain content creators. Honestly, a very small handpicked few. So I feel really honored to be able to be part of this. It's really been amazing. But yeah, what I'm doing right now, where am I right now? I'm in Westmarch right now. Yep. So I'm just kind of showing you guys around where everything, this is your primary hub. But the cool thing is, you know, we have 7 different zones inside of the game. And if you haven't seen any of this stuff yet, 7 zones are what we have right now for the alpha, plus a max level of 45. But we are going to be getting, I believe, 9 zones. And correct me if I'm wrong, 9 zones upon release. And we're going to be able to have a max level of 60, plus not only the 4 characters that are available now, but also the Demon Hunter and the Crusader. So yeah, there's going to be a lot more coming.
Yeah, there's 4 that we're launched with now, and then Crusader and Necromancer are coming at launch. Did they say 9 zones? I thought they said, I heard a lot more. I don't know if I heard 9, but yeah, we're launched with 7 so far, 7 zones, 6 dungeons that we're able to play. Echo is running around Westmarch, which is like the general area where everybody hangs out, kind of like the town. There's a question in the chat. So before we go into that, one question, and I think a lot of people are going to be asking, is it compatible with my device? Is it available? Can I have it now? One thing we didn't mention, maybe we should start and mention this, right? So this is a technical alpha. So they're doing the alpha test for about 2 weeks. They released this in the Australian region. It is only available in Australia and only available to pre-select few people like myself and Echo for content creators. If you're not in Australia, you're not going to be able to play it until, you know, they move to the next stage or whatever that is. It's the external beta or who knows? We don't know.
Right.
A VPN will not work as well because this is for pre-registered devices that are already pre-registered in Australia before the beta or the alpha went live. So just FYI, VPN is not going to work. So just those are the questions we've had so far. But go ahead, Echo.
Yeah.
Let's get back to Westmarch.
Well, it's okay. I'm just kind of chatting a little bit. But Grims is asking if there's going to be more than one hub. And it seems that in every zone that you go to, there is like a mini hub where you can go to a blacksmith, a stash, and a couple of other people. Your main hub is Westmarch, but you could go to these, you know, to have that support in all other areas as well. Now, it's pretty cool because anywhere you are in the game, for the most part, you're able to just tap and you could go to any zone that you want to. So if I want to come on over here, I could go take a look at Dark Wood. And I want to teleport there, all I would do would be hit the teleport button and I go right there. So it's nice and easy to get around to all the zones as long as you've explored them and completed them already. Once you complete them, you could revisit them and basically just move yourself around in a very easy fashion. Now, you may notice from watching the game right now that there's other people. Look, we have other people running around. That's because this is open world, guys. These servers are going to have, I think they said up to 10,000 people on a server. Was that right?
They said tens of thousands of people on the server.
Tens of thousands, which means you could have people around you all the time. I've had multiple occasions where I was playing and then other people that happened to be around me just started to join in and help out. We didn't team up. We didn't party up. They just joined and helped me out, which was really cool. It's a nice element to the game because this is an open world experience, which is something that's really new to the Diablo franchise, and it's really exciting to see it. Plus the elements of friends, how you can add friends and stuff like that. You could start your guilds, you could start your You could start your guild, you could have your friends, you could have voice chat, text chat, world chat. It's really a social experience here. Now we have a couple more questions coming in, and one of them is from Humberson, asking about dual wielded weapons and you know, weapons that you would use two hands on. This is something that was brought up in my comments earlier, and I want to address it now. Nemo, if you've noticed something different, tell me. But as the demon hunter and the monk, and watching you as the barbarian, I've only seen the characters having weapons that you would have one in the right hand and one in the left hand. I haven't seen any single weapons that would be two-handed weapons that would maybe be slower but offer more power or anything like that. Have you seen any of that? And if you have or haven't, do you have any insight on that itself?
So actually, that's a good point. I have not seen a two-handed weapon so far, and I've had lots of. I mean, I finished with the barbarian. I haven't seen one, and I'm in Paragon 3, level 45 now. I've been playing for a while. So that's a good point. I mean, if you really think about it, there are 2 slots in there. I don't know. It's a good question for the development team. In fact, that is what I'm going to be writing down and asking when we talk to them. So thank you for that.
Good point.
Question.
Good point. Yeah. So what's up?
One question that everybody had. There was a couple of questions people had about the open world and the pop-up events. Could we talk about that for a second? Because you were kind of just talking about that, right? So you can run around. There's tens of thousands of people per server, and there's a whole bunch of different servers. Some people kind of like might be confused about what that means. So you have to create a character on the same server that you're playing with your friends with if you want to play with us. So if me and Echo are playing on a server, you have to be in our server to play. But there are tens of thousands of other people in that same server that could be running around in any one of those zones that Echo was showing you. And there could be a whole bunch of different events that happen. You could do quests, you could do side missions, you could do your own stuff, or you could just jump in and they could be like pop-up events. Like me and Echo were running and there were a whole bunch of bosses that popped up. And you know, generally speaking in alpha, like it's meant for a whole bunch of players, but since we didn't have that many players, they were actually really tough, right? Remember Echo? We were like in there for a while trying to beat them down. They drop chests and give us a whole bunch of loot. That was super fun.
Yeah, it was super fun. And I mean, we've seen a lot of people say sometimes it looks like the enemies are too easy or the bosses are too easy, but we also need to remember that first of all, they scale. And second of all, there's different modes. You could play on normal, hell, or hell 2. Is that what it's called, Nemo?
Yeah. Nightmare in hell.
Nightmare in hell, right. Yeah.
Yeah, that does scale, and you know what, you're right. Like some of I mean, there's no way. Like some of the bosses that we went up against, they were super tough. It was not very easy. The other thing too, I know we're jumping back and forth, but the development team did say that they kind of scaled everything down a little bit for alpha to make sure that we get all of the tests in. They want to make sure that we jump through the game and test it. So they did make things a little bit easier for us. This is gonna be much harder when the game comes out, from what I hear.
Yeah, I hear the same thing, and that's exciting because. I mean, we don't want an easy experience, but we also need to remember that it needs to be difficult enough so that it's, people don't jump into the game. Because remember, we're getting a brand new audience here. The mobile gaming audience has not experienced Diablo, at least many of them. So you don't want to scare them away with something that's so hard when they have to get that learning curve. You know, we have a lot of people that are Diablo veterans that have played Diablo 2 and Diablo 3 that play this and they're like, okay, this is a little easy at the beginning. But we have to make sure, or Blizzard needs to make sure, that it's ready to go and that it's not too scary for people that are brand new. Now, notice I just threw up some gameplay. This is pre-recorded gameplay of myself. I don't know if Nemo's on this gameplay as well, but it's just doing some rifts. So just some gameplay in the background so I don't have to continuously focus on what I'm supposed to be doing and discussing.
You know, we're going to talk about rifts, and that's a good one. I guess there's a lot we could talk about rifts. But quickly, did you, when you were running around, when you got to, like, this is one thing that happened to me. I don't know if anybody else has seen this as well. If you played the game, you're in chat, let us know. I was running around I believe it was somewhere around Zoltan Kuhl's library. And all of a sudden, something popped up, and it was like a little event thing, and it said, go to this world event, and it's going to start. So I started running to the event, and basically somewhere on the end of the map, the right end of the map, there was like a barge or something that was there, and if you ran in during the time, like, it took you to this island, and the island was supposed to have this world boss apparently. Now, I was running around and I saw a gold chest and I saw a butterfly, and I got distracted, and I started fighting bosses, and I missed it. So by the time I got there, it was nothing there and I couldn't get there. But has anybody seen this? Does that mean that we have I know that Wyatt was talking about that, right? There's world bosses that spawn once in a while, and then you'd have to, like, everybody from the zone has to run there to take them out. That sounds really exciting. I haven't seen that yet. Did you notice any of that, Echo, when you were playing?
Sadly, I haven't, but that's one of the things that I love about the Destiny games are those world events. And I have heard rumor about it. I don't know if we've actually heard like direct an answer saying that that is or isn't going to be in the game, but I get the feeling that it is, and it just seems like it would work really well with this type of game. With the way that people can all come together, world events would be really amazing. You know, a timer comes in, this is happening in 5 minutes, get yourself here so you can participate in the world event, get big rewards, play together as a team. It seems to all work well. We got another question from Grims. What's the most amount of people you seem to congregate together at one point in a zone? And I'll tell you, right now, like we said, it's only in Australia. And for literally, I don't know, 15 content creators, maybe if that.
Yep.
So we haven't been, you don't run into a ton of people. I haven't been running into, you know, hundreds of people in spots, but, you know, I will run into, last night I was playing and I was just running around the map and there were 2 or 3 people that were right there and joined in with me. So I understand that we want to be able to interact with others in the world, but we don't want it to be too many people to the point where you kind of feel spammed out and like there's just too many people around, or too many people will join in these battles and make the battles too easy. So I think that's a bit of a balance that has to happen, because you don't want 100 people to take on one boss and beat the boss in 3 seconds. Or maybe you do want that, but you want to be able to organize that rather than just organically happen. I mean, the game gives us a lot of options with how they're building it, how they're putting it together, with the ability for so many people to come together on one server. Nemo says tens of thousands. With that being said, it's worth noting, the server that you start your character on, you cannot move to another character, to another server. So make sure that you join the server that your friends are on, where you want to play, etc. And if you want to, though, you're able to start a second character, or a third, or a fourth on different servers. They don't need to be on the same one, I don't believe. Am I right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and make sure if you're going to be playing with us, because we're definitely going to be starting a guild and all that as soon as the game comes out, right? You want to make sure that you create a character on our server. You can have multiple characters on multiple different servers. You cannot move them, but if you want to play with your friends, you got to have a character on that server.
Right,
So
and it's also, again, I want to say everything that's in the alpha right now is going to be wiped. Our characters are just here for alpha. They're not going to be here when the game actually releases. All of our progress, it's going to be gone. All of our blood, sweat, and tears is going to be gone. My ID is gone. Everything is gone. So if you're thinking right now, I'm gonna write down that server so we could jump in there, it's all gonna change. Sadly, I mean, my monk I only have like 3 hours into, but my demon hunter, it's got like 15 hours in. I'm gonna miss him. Maybe I'll go as a female next time around for the demon hunter. Nemo, what are your favorite male or female for each of the characters? You have the barbarian. Actually, you know, can I even? No, I can't go there now. But barbarian, monk, wizard, demon hunter. Which classes do you like female, and which ones do you like male as far as the character renditions go?
For the barbarian, I like the male better, because I don't know, it just looks beastly. I don't know. For the wizard, I think the female looks really good, but then again, the male looks really good as well. They're so, like, I don't know, the wizard just looks so mystical and so nice. As far as the monk, I like the male better than the female, and the demon hunter female for sure. I think the demon hunters, but like the demon hunter, the wizard will be my female characters, and I think that the monk and the barbarian will be my male one.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, for me, I like, just because I want to be different than you, the female barbarian better. Definitely the female wizard. I like the demon hunter as the male better, although I played it as the male, I want to play as the female. And the monk, by far, I don't really like the way that the female monk looks. It looks like a little boy rather than looking like you know, the man monk. So personally, I like that monk better. I get the look. I mean, it's just not my personal favorite, but that's art, right? The way that art is, it's all subjective to your thoughts. But we do have some great questions coming in, and the Shredder's asking about a healer. Now, there are no healers right now, but there are some healing or protecting elements. And one of the monk's skills is to be able to shield the entire team. So although it's not healing, it's the ability to protect and shield up your teammates while you're in these big battles. So it's kind of a protection element. I'm wondering if the wizard has anything like that too, Nemo. Have you seen any of that with the wizard or no?
No, not yet. I've seen some stuff that would help with the, like, group, you know, like helping the group take out a bunch of enemies. So that would be that way, but I don't think I've seen any kind of healing. Now there is more characters coming, right? The Crusaders coming, so let's see what that is, because that seems like it was going to be a combo class as well as a Necro. And then, I mean, not for nothing, but I heard them say that there are more. We don't, not yet. They haven't planned, but there are going to be more characters coming here. So that is possible that we might have a class that has some sort of a healing or whatever. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, with PvP, you'd figure you'd probably need some kind of a healing situation, right? If you're going to be doing a team versus team, but I don't know. We'll see.
Whoever wants to be the healer, though. I'm always the guy. I don't want to be the healer. I want to be up in the battle, not back healing everybody. But you're right. It does add that really good team dynamic. But remember, so another thing that they could do, in case they don't want to just keep on bringing new heroes, right? They could build out sets that have healing elements that could even up. You know, they could really do anything that they want with gear, with gems. They could have you be able to socket these certain gems, which when some action happens, it could give healing elements to both you and possibly your team. And then you could kind of do that and build out a character as a healer, even though they may not be a healer. So like for the monk, for example, those are all options. And it's maybe stuff that's not traditional to Diablo, but it's stuff that could be put in at some point in time. And that's easy stuff to do without having to make a whole new character.
Paragon trees too, right? One of the Paragon trees, I believe, has like healing elements in it. I just got to Paragon with my barbarian, so I only got 3 points. But I think I see that. Now, as far as Paragons, there are 4 trees available at the start, but there are going to be a lot more. But I think one of the trees is a healing tree, so that would work.
That would work. Now we have a couple more questions. One was on monetization. And a lot of people are, you know, it's like the main thing. Everyone's worried about monetization. Now, I'll say this again. I believe I said it in the video too, but when we had our discussions with Blizzard, with Wyatt and with Adam and everyone that was there, they basically were saying that they want gameplay first. They don't want you to ever feel limited with the gameplay that you can do. They don't want to have an energy system that's going to keep us from being able to play and have to buy more energy. I personally cannot stand that in games, and it's done in a lot of mobile action RPGs, but that is not something that's going to be done here. You could literally play dungeons and campaign all day long without having to spend $1, right? Battle Pass is a way for you to pay for the game. It's something that you could do. You're going to get more rewards. I play other games. I play Brawl Stars and Clash of Clans on my other 2 channels. I have the Battle Pass or the Season Pass or the Brawl Pass in all of them because the value is huge. You get much more worth of value, much more value from the items that you get from it than you get for having to pay. So Clash of Clans is like $5 a month. Brawl Stars, it's about 15 or so bucks every 60 days. And when we looked at the Battle Pass here in the alpha, there were like 46 days left on the timer of the Battle Pass, which leads me to believe that it's most likely, and this is speculation again, it's most likely going to be just like Brawl Stars, a 60-day cycle. And if that's the case, I would guess that it's going to be a $15 Battle Pass. I could be completely off. It could be 5, it could be 30. I really don't know, but my guess would be 15 bucks for the 60 days, which you get all the rewards in the top for free. Bottom tier rewards are going to be the ones that you get if you pay. And then once you finish the pass, every however many points it was, 400, I think, you get yourself another chest unlocked. So it's going to be probably the best bang for your buck. I'm looking right now on my screen. I should actually, let me pull it up for you guys.
Bring it up, yeah. It is definitely, in general, Battle Pass in any kind of game, right? Is usually the best bang for your buck. You can go the free route if you want and grind it out, or you can go the paid route and get a lot more rewards. One thing to keep in mind, all of the rewards that you get, anything that you get in the game, you can't get any gear or armor. Any kind of gear, armor, weapons, anything like that, you have to get by killing monsters. You can't trade it, you can't buy it, you can't sell it, you can't drop it, you can't do anything with it. So gear is only obtained by killing monsters in Diablo, which is really awesome.
Yeah, and gold as well, because if you were able to buy gold, you could then take that gold to buy gear, because you can buy gear with gold, but you could only get gold from farming, stuff like that. So notice here on the Battle Pass, you do get gold here at tier 21, but it's on the top tier. So everyone that's free gets it. As I scroll through, I'm not seeing any gold on the bottom tier. We see it again at 31 right here, but again, that's for anyone to unlock, anyone that's free to play. And then every 180 battle points rewards after you finish the tree at level 40, you're going to get a gift of the renown, which is going to be a chest. So this is going to be the best value. And you can see right now, 42 days, 17 hours left on it. So again, my guess is that it's going to be a total of 60 days.
And there's legendary gems on top on the free route. If you notice, there's a whole bunch of legendary gems and a bunch of other stuff. So it's like a really nice. They give you a lot of good value for free in the game if you grind it.
Yeah,
I think at level 20 we got a legendary gem.
15, right? 15 I got a legendary
15?
gem. Yeah,
15. Yeah. And then we got some legendary crests after that. And I think at the end you get a legendary gem, right? If you get all the way to 40, is it? I think you get a legendary gem.
I'm gonna look right here. I'm trying to see. I got a bunch of rare crests. Here we go. A legendary crest right here at level 20. That's what you're gonna put into your rift and allow you to get more rewards. And then when we go all the way to level 40, Oh yeah, look at that thing. You get another nice legendary gem. That thing is sweet. Power and
No, no.
command. And we're gonna grind
Oh,
it. We're gonna get it, and then we're not gonna have it because the alpha is gonna be gone. Come on.
that's true. I got 3 legendaries. I got so lucky. I got 3 or 4. Actually, I got 4 legendaries right now. 4 on my barbarian that all work together and make my hammer of ancients just completely beastly. When we were playing, remember how I spawned 2 gold guardians?
I remember.
Oh, it worked so well. I'm gonna be very, very sad when I have to give those pieces away.
Oh, we're gonna have to grind it again when the game does release, man. That's really what it comes down to.
For sure.
People are asking about auto battle in the chat. The only thing that's auto in the game is something great, and that's auto pathing. So if you want to navigate to something, you could hit the navigate button. It will run your character or teleport your character to whatever that objective is or whatever that space is that you're trying to get to. I love it because who wants to have to run through entire maps manually when you could hit the auto button, it'll take you there, and then you could battle. You cannot out auto battle anything anywhere. There is no function for auto battling. If you're fighting demons, you have to fight them manually. And that's, again, I've been speaking about this for a year. From talking to Blizzard in 2019 at BlizzCon, I got the feeling from those discussions that they wanted to do things right. I got the feeling that they had a good handle on what people like and what people hate, and that they wanted to put out something that everyone was going to like, or not even like, but love. And, you know, trying to be critical, like, yeah, I'm a fanboy of Diablo, right? I've been looking forward to this for a while, but I've been trying to be critical of the game. And there are very few things that I think need adjustment or that are wrong with it. And again, we're in alpha. This thing looks better than many games we've played that are out full release. I mean, someone even on stream said, I can't believe that this is alpha. It looks so good.
I totally
Yeah.
agree. Echo, I've been saying that as soon as I got the game. Like once it loaded and I started playing, I'm like, oh my God, like this is the best alpha I've ever seen in my life. And you're right, it is really tough. Like, and not even trying to be a fanboy. Obviously, we're all excited, right? Diablo Immortal is coming. It made my year. I took vacation. I'm that
Yeah,
excited.
that's
But in
nice.
general, if you really think about it, it really it's hard to kind of find things that are wrong. There are a couple of little bugs maybe there or here, but the game is super polished. It's super smooth. There's a lot of really good additions. It's like I think if any of you have seen Riker's video, he called this Diablo 3.5. I totally agree. It's like all the things we want in Diablo here in mobile, and it runs like butter on the mobile too. It almost feels like I don't know. You tell me what you think about this, but it almost feels like it's a PC game that's running on mobile. I don't even feel like I'm actually playing on a mobile device. Forget the controls and everything else. It's the smoothest mobile game I've ever played. And I think I'm really excited because I feel like this is going to step up the mobile market. I feel like all the other games, even in the alpha stage right now, are looking at this and saying, we gotta figure out what we're gonna do and be like this game because there isn't really any other game on mobile that I've seen so far. I have not seen any other game that runs this smooth and this good in regular launch versus even alpha. I mean, this is insane.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, someone asked earlier in the chat, how does this compare to other mobile games? Now, I'm primarily a Supercell creator in my other channels. I think Supercell makes amazing mobile games, but there's something very different about Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, Brawl Stars than to Diablo. Supercell loves, and this is how their model is making games that are quick, 3-minute rounds. They want you to be able to log on, play around, log off, and feel satisfied. This game has those elements to it, but this is really more of that long haul game where you're going to be sitting down and playing the game like you're playing on a PC or on a console. I get the feel this is much more. It's got a deep game experience, deeper than, in my opinion, Diablo 3. Now, obviously, I'm not as experienced as some of those OG Diablo 3 players, but this is like Diablo 3 plus some. And I'm going to go out on the limb and say I personally like playing on the mobile controls better. Now, yes, I'm a mobile gamer. I love playing mobile games. I'm used to these kinds of controls, but the movement just feels great and natural to me. I prefer it than the, click to move that Diablo 3 uses. I just don't feel as natural, probably because I spend more time playing mobile. But man, I'm going off on tangent here, but take over, Nemo.
You know what, Echo? Actually, you bring up a very good point because somebody mentioned this as well. And I don't think it's because it's a mobile thing. So I come from a PC environment. I played Diablo 3 and Diablo 2 and all that good stuff. And I tell you, one thing I noticed is I wonder, like people ask, you think this game it almost feels like it was meant to be on a mobile device. Now, Hats off again to the development team for doing this. Obviously, this game wasn't developed to be a mobile game at first, and they made the experience be like this. Maybe it's because you're playing the game when you feel like you're immersed because you have more abilities. Like you could run one way and aim your attacks a different way. Do these types of things. There's a lot of other cool things that you could do with mobs and fighting, but in general, it does feel like Diablo was like almost always meant to be on a mobile device. They really brought it here. Like they really did. It's fantastic. It feels amazing. It doesn't. I love it. I just
Yeah,
love this game.
they did it well. And if you're watching the screen now, I'm actually showing it's not just tap and attack. Now, yes, you can tap and it'll auto target certain things, but you can control where your attacks go. And that's where the more skilled players are going to thrive, right? And this reminds me of Brawl Stars. You could tap to attack, or you can direct it in a certain direction. And that's going to really be able to allow you to get the value out of your attacks. The primary attack is just hold down to attack, but all of your specials, all of your skills, I should say, you can move them wherever you want within the range of that skill. And that really takes the attacking to the next level. You could spam attack your primary, and then you could really, be more precise with your skills. And your skills, they're always regenerating. You have them a lot, and you should, because the skills are amazing in the game. They feel great. They're really cool. So why have to wait like too long for any cooldowns? You want to be able to use these things often in the game. And now, of course, your ultimate is going to be able to be filled up all around your primary button. You only get that from time to time because it's pretty OP. Although, as far as the ultimate goes, I prefer the ultimate of the Demon Hunter than I do of the Monk. It just seems more powerful to me so far. How about Barb and Wizard?
Oh, the barbarian has the best super. I love that super. He's so awesome. He turns into like this wild, crazy man. Just turns like huge, black, like red, and just goes nuts. I love the barbarian special. You also bring up a very good point, right? That the special, that's a new addition as well to Diablo. We haven't seen that. In general, like the mobile controls kind of feel really good, right? But that special, I think it's a really cool addition. I think we needed that. It's easy like to clear mobs. You can save it for bosses. It's
Mhm.
definitely one of my favorites. The wizard special is cool, but I haven't tested her enough to be able to say. So far, I'd say barbarian.
Yeah, I hear that. And first of all, I want to take a second, go back to the chat, say thank you guys so much for your questions. Thank you for everyone that's dropping a follow. The Immortal podcast, we were doing bi-weekly. But since we have the game in hand, maybe we're gonna do it every Sunday. I'm not sure. At least while the alpha's here. If I think we might still have the alpha Nemo next Sunday. If we do, maybe we should try and do another episode while we still have the game in hand, and then go back to bi-weekly once it kind of pulls back and we don't have alpha anymore. Just to take advantage while it's here. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Are we there yet? Let's go.
Yeah,
I
and
think
and a little bit about Nemo and me. I'm streaming every day on Twitch, 12 p.m. Eastern, noon. We're doing Diablo Immortal for at least 2 hours every single day. And I'm putting out videos every single day on the ECHO Gaming Diablo channel. Nemo is also doing some streaming over on YouTube, and he's also putting out regular content on his channel, Scrappy Academy. If you want to go check him out, he's over on YouTube. He doesn't do as much on the Twitch, but YouTube is where it's at for him. So, yeah. Now, I want to get back to some more questions here from the chat.
Nine Ball had a good one.
Yeah.
This is a tough question. He said, "What is one of the things that you would change in the game?"
I think something that annoys me, and it's small, is when the warning comes up once you get to the higher levels that high level monsters are coming or something like that. Have you had that happen to you, Nemo?
Yeah. Especially when you turn up the difficulty and all that stuff. Yeah,
Right.
you get a warning that doesn't go away. That's kind of I think it's like little things. Really, there's nothing big. Like for me, for example, I played the game and I don't see anything. There's a couple like sometimes an alert will come off on the screen, and you're playing and you're trying to do something and you can't get rid of the alert. You have to stop playing and like wipe it off, right?
Yeah.
Or sometimes you're talking to an NPC and the ads come out and start beating the living, what out of you. So you got to like fast forward through the NPC to kill the ad so you don't die.
That's true.
Couple, but that's again, those are the things they're obviously going to be adjusting and fixing once the live version comes out. There are no big things so far, I'd be honest with you, that I don't like. I like everything, the music, the sound, the feel, the environment. I love the whole idea of the gear and all that being free. I mean, there isn't really much else. What about you, Echo?
I mean, I really like a lot too. You're right though, and if someone that's watching doesn't understand what you meant, when you're in certain scenes and when you're talking to someone, you're still in this live world, so you can still be attacked by stuff. And from time to time, you're talking to someone because it's part of your objective, and you're starting to see this red around you. Basically, you're being attacked by these demons around you while you're in this scene that you have to do to progress through the game. So that can get a little frustrating. I feel like you should maybe be safe once you're in that action. Or maybe that's not what they're looking for, and to be honest, we could just kind of click through it if we want, but then you kind of miss out on some of the dialogue that goes on, and really you don't want to have to miss out on that. Something that I love is I love the cutscenes, man. When you go into rifts and stuff, I think the artwork and just how it's done is beautiful. Someone's asking, Cheesy Frank is asking, are there any bugs? And yeah, I have an issue once in a while. Now, mind you, this is alpha and everyone is not having the issue. It may be device specific, but as I'm playing for a 3-hour session or so, every once in a while, it's probably happened to me 4 or 5 times the entire time for the alpha, my screen will freeze on me and I'll have to reset it, reboot everything. But again, like, we're not even in beta. We're in alpha. There are going to be issues and problems. That's why we're here testing this stuff, so that when it does come to beta, which is still a testing phase, and then global, all the problems are solved. And the cool thing is, with Blizzard, we have direct communication with them. So whenever we see a bug, whoever's testing the game, we go hit them up and say, look, this happened. Here's a screenshot. Here's a video of what happened. And they look into it trying to fix it, which is great because they really want us to be able to be here to critique it in this alpha phase. Now, I realized before I went off on my tangent, I was talking about Supercell games and how they do the 3-minute rounds and all that. And I never truly answered the question that was asked. How does Diablo Immortal fare to other mobile games, right? So comparing to Supercell games, which are great, but very, very different. Honestly, they're like opposite of what this is all about. We could compare this to Genshin Impact, because right now, that's probably one of the more popular mobile games, something that really came out in this genre-ish area. We could compare it to Call of Duty Mobile, right? Which is also a different kind of game, but a game that's really done well. And I mean, depending on the game style you like, I love dungeon crawler action games. So for me, this is the perfect experience for me on mobile right now. And out of all the games that I've played on mobile, some of my favorites being Brawl Stars, Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, Call of Duty Mobile, PUBG Mobile, this one is my favorite. And that's not just me saying it because I have a channel focused on this. I think this is the best mobile game that's coming, but obviously that's going to be depending on the type of games that you're into. If you're not into sessions where you can sit down and play for a long time, then maybe this is not going to be something that is your favorite type of thing to do. But, you know, if you're into Diablo, if you're into action RPGs or RPGs of any style, you can't look at this game and say, oh, that game kind of stinks. You literally can't say that. This game is better than the PC version. Now, the PC version was made years ago, but still, this is an amazing game, and they're really trying their best to not make any mistakes along the way. Their announcement was a mistake. They've agreed that they didn't do that right? It's taking a long time, so everyone's kind of upset because it's taking so long. So the last thing that they want is to have it launch globally and to have people have things that they could critique. So they're taking their time, they're building the game the way that it needs to be built. And that is, I mean, they proved it. They proved it right here because this game could be released today and the community would be happy with it. But to Blizzard, they're still not okay with that. They want to test it out, make sure that it's going to be perfect, because the amount of bugs or issues that we see in the game are just a tiny, tiny fraction of the amount of time that we're playing the game. So, yeah,
I happen to agree with you. You know, like I have the same iPad as you do, Echo. So I've been playing, and knock on wood, I have not had one single little issue. No reboots, no issues, no problems, no crashes. Not one. Not one. And I'm knocking on wood because I hope I don't get any more. But so far, the game is super smooth. And Echo's 100% right. They were stepping it up. Like, you know, whatever happened before, honestly, I don't even remember anymore because the game came out and look at this. I mean, look how amazing it is. And Echo makes a good point. You know, we met with the Blizzard team, and they are true gamers. It was really refreshing to have them talk to us about it. They love Diablo Immortal. It's their baby, and they want to make sure it's perfect for you. They really do, and this is why they're taking their time to make sure it's amazing. And look, this little bite of Diablo Immortal that we got. I mean, It's already the best mobile game I've ever seen in my life, and it's not even out yet. So
Yeah.
I cannot wait until we have the real thing, the full thing. I mean, again, we haven't seen PvP yet. We haven't seen so many other things. This is only 7 zones, 6 dungeons. It's going to be huge. There's so much more coming. We've got bosses. We've got a story. I cannot wait until the real, the real version comes out. So yeah, for sure. I mean, I think this is where they kind of, and pardon my French, shut everybody up.
Yeah.
They showed everybody. They said, take a look at this. We got it. I think all the negativity is pretty much behind us. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I think you're on point as well. And people are asking about trading, and that kind of goes along with the monetization. Um, Nemo is more versed in the trading than me, but basically, people are worried about the auction house and being able to sell things and profit, and how
Sure.
that broke Diablo 3 and all that. But here in Diablo Immortal, it's going to be done very differently. You are going to be able to trade. Nemo will get into this in a second, but everything is going to be a market value. So if you trade something, you can't set your prices. It's going to be what that's actually worth currently inside of the game based on the desire of people that want those items. Nemo, you dive into that a little bit more.
Sure. This is not like the auction house. This is nothing like the auction house at all. So right here, you cannot trade gear or anything like that. All you could trade is materials or specific gems. You can only trade them anonymously, and you can only trade them for gold, in-game gold. There's no real money involved whatsoever. It is completely monitored by Blizzard, and there's a market value. So you can't like go in and try to set specific prices on gear. What drives the value of the gear is the how much people want it. Really, that's where it comes from. It's totally 100%, like I said, anonymous. You can't scam anybody. You can't get any money for it, and you cannot get any gear or anything like that. So this is one of the most fairest and nicest systems I think I've seen. Basically, this is like a way to help us to trade for materials and gems that we have and don't need, or things like that. I think it's a very helpful thing, super non-predatory, and they made sure 1000%. They even talked about it. They want to make sure that this is done right, like where there was no way to sort of like take advantage of it.
Yeah, and this is all part of Blizzard finally getting into mobile, right? Hearthstone was on mobile, but that was a port from PC. It wasn't built as mobile. This is being built as mobile, the first of many. I mean, look at all games across the board. Like League of Legends going to mobile, Call of Duty, like all these monster games are going on mobile, and this is no different. They wanted to do it right so they can have the example. And there's Nemo right now. He actually joined me in the gameplay. We're seeing those barbarians that he spawned. Those things were just beasts, and I loved playing with him because he literally protected me the whole time. But two topics I want to get into here. One of them is PvP. And Nemo, I'm going to ask you to pull up that tweet that Adam made that I sent you earlier today. I don't have it on my computer to show, but we can read through it. And the other
Really
one
exciting.
was controls compared to other games, right? So the controls are done beautifully. I'm listening and talking to PC gamers that don't play mobile games that are in the alpha right now testing this out. They don't play mobile, and they say that the controls feel really good, that it feels kind of natural. When you look at the screen right now, you have your joystick on the left and you have your attack buttons on the right. Nothing right now is able to be customized. You can't move them, but in my opinion, I don't think you should be able to. I don't think you need to. They're going with a more standard version of action RPGs on mobile, but they really optimized every single button on the screen. The ultimate kind of wraps around your attack button, not taking up any other real estate. You have your upgrade bar on the bottom of the screen. You could barely see it. It's just that little yellow line there on the bottom of the screen that progresses, and when it gets all the way to the right, you upgrade to the next level. They didn't, and I love this, they didn't want to cover the screen with buttons to give you that, ugly mobile feel. Even the little dock that's on the right hand side of this, the left hand side right now, where it says Elder Rift, you could quickly swipe that off the screen and it's gone, and it gives you that more real estate. Me personally, I like it there because I like to be able to see exactly what I need to do. But I could see people that maybe aren't mobile people exclusively saying that it's a little in the way, and they could swipe it out of there. And it's really nice. The controls are on point. So I just want to take a second to share that I'm really happy with the controls. There's nothing I would change about them. And to be honest, they're just about the same as I remember from 2019, which makes me believe that Blizzard's also happy with the controls and that they don't have any desire to change them. Again, that's me assuming. If others that are testing the game out now don't like the controls and maybe have suggestions about it, they'll definitely take into account. But I think that the controls aren't an issue. I think they're actually pretty great. So I don't see any changes happening there.
They're amazing. The control, I don't like controls on mobile, and I jumped on, and I didn't even have to look at them from the second I jumped on. I put my fingers on the tablet, and that was it. I felt completely natural, like it was part of me. Really fantastic controls. There's no way I would change anything on them. Perfect.
An extension of your thumbs. You heard it here from Nemo himself. So Madness is asking, what's up, man, by the way? He's saying, is it repetitive or does everything seem different? And that also brings up the PvP element, right? There's not much PvP in the alpha, yet there is a small section that I haven't yet experienced, and neither has Nemo. I sent him this tweet earlier today, and he's like, I haven't seen this yet, and neither have I. So him and I have to hop on and find this PvP element. But so far, things don't seem repetitive, but at the same time, this is a Diablo grind game. You could spend all day grinding rifts, literally the same things. They do randomize, but you know, that's part of this type of game, grinding for gear. And it's just kind of what goes with action RPGs. So is everything different everywhere? No, things are not different all over the place, but there is a lot of variety. And I have not, with probably 25 hours into playing everything so far. I wish I had more, but it's the weekend and I have my kids. So we had to, well, I always have my kids, but during the week I don't have to, you know, whatever.
Well,
it doesn't get boring. I'll put it that way.
yeah, there's no way the all of the activities and everything that you do between the bounties, the rifts, you know, you're gonna go into dungeons, you're gonna do a bunch of like regular stuff, world bosses that we talked about. There's a variety of things to do. There is like when you come in every day, you have 12 bounties that you could do because you get 4 rewards for them, 4 chests, which is something that you're gonna want to do. So you probably will do that every day. You'll do some Elder Rift, things like that, and then you also got challenge rifts to do. There's a lot of really like a lot of it's a lot more stuff than Diablo, and I think you'll be definitely busy. I don't think you're gonna be bored at all. And then there's the PvP, which we're gonna talk about in a minute.
Yeah, I'm showing everyone on the screen right now really quick before you get into that PvP tweet. You have your Elder Rifts right here, which is where you're going to be grinding for gear and for gold and all that. And then you have your Challenge Rift entrance where you're going to be going for the leaderboards. And also you have your bounty board, which is right over here. And this is what I love about it. When you go into a more typical mobile game, you know, like as people think of mobile games, you have like a dashboard and there's all this stuff around. Here you're in a world, and to get to the bounty board, it's not clicking a button, it's going to the bounty board. And same thing for all these other things. It's really nice. But the bounty board, you can see right here, you have 4 different available. What I'll do is I accept all 4 of these. Once I accept all 4 of these, they're going to show up in my bar over here on the side as exclamation points. That's going to be the 4 different bounties. As I complete them, I come back here, I turn them in to Derek, and I get the rewards. Now again, notice on the bottom of the screen, when you get 4 completed, you get an extra chest. When you get 8 completed, you get an extra chest. And when you get 12 completed, you get an extra chest. In my experience from grinding these throughout the past 6 days, it's between an hour and an hour and a half worth of gameplay to complete the entire bounty board per day. Now, if you're running multiple characters in the game, we're talking about an extensive amount of game. Like if you have 2 characters just to do the bounty boards, you're talking about 3 hours of gameplay throughout the day. And that's what I'm talking about, the difference between Diablo Immortal and Clash of Clans, where you can do a few wars, you know, war attacks or things like that. You can jump in, do your rift challenges. You can come in here, do your elder rifts. You can do your campaign that you may have something that you need to still do. And, you know, there's really a ton of gameplay. And for my Demon Hunter, it probably took me about 12 or so hours to get the Demon Hunter to level 45. With that being said, it took about 2.5 to 3 hours to get my Demon Hunter from level 44 to 45. So now what I'm thinking is, if the game is going to be up to level 46 to 60, and it took me 3 hours, say, to get from 44 to 45, if it's going to take 3 hours from each level from 45 to 46, etc., we're talking about an extra 45 hours of gameplay just to get a max level character on top of the 12 to 15 that it took to get them to level 45. That's all assumptions, and I wasn't really grinding the most effective way. I was just experiencing the game and upgrading that way. I'm sure there's better ways to get more XP more quickly. And notice around me right here, we have all these people that are in the server right here. These are all real people that we can play with if we want to. Cool thing is, you can even click on a person, you could check out their scroll, and you could see all the stats, what they're wearing, what they look like. This guy actually has a beast barbarian right here. I like that. And if you want to, you can try and add them as a friend or chat with them, do all this stuff. So this is the social element that we're talking about inside of the game. But did I explain that well, Nemo? Did I take it on point?
No, That was very good. It was perfect. I think it's 100% right, and there's nothing more that we need to say about it.
But
Somebody,
the
somebody
PvP
asked
though,
about
we have to
passive
talk
skills.
about.
There was PvP and passive skills. There's somebody in the chat was actually asking for a while. So can we quickly talk about passive skills before we get into PvP?
Of course.
So there's two ways, right, to have passive skills and grind them in this game. There's the Heretic Bestiary, which Echo, maybe you can show them. It's over there on the top there. Yep. And basically what that does is you unlock monsters as you like go through the game and you start unlocking monsters and beating them, you're able to kind of slowly, passively increase your skills. The other way you increase your skills passively is through the Paragon trees. So once you beat level 60 for you, once you get the game and you're going to get to max, you'll have a whole bunch of trees that open up. And then you have like a selection of things where you can upgrade these trees to kind of the way you want to basically fine tune your character, whether you want healing, you want damage, you want certain skills, you want to buff certain things. That's all done through the Paragon tree. So those are the two ways so far that we're able to passively increase our skills. And then, of course, as you play with them, you increase them to a level, to a max level, or whatever.
Yeah, well said, Nemo. And I'm kind of going through the Paragon stuff. I just got my Demon Hunter to max level and switched the gameplay to, I think it was Echo Hack. Look, Echo Hack's right here in the game. That's cool.
Nice.
So yeah, let's talk about PvP. I haven't experienced PvP yet. I haven't gotten in there, but I really want to. Well, what did Adam say on Twitter?
Now, originally, when we first talked to him, they said PvP is not going to be available in alpha. So I just kind of glanced over it and started doing my thing. But then Echo sends me a tweet this morning from Adam, who gave us a really interesting clue. I did not know this, and I'm pretty excited about this. He said a little bit of PvP is in Tech Alpha. In Billifant, there's an event every 3 hours that spawns a chest, locks the area and the people inside. People fight over the chest. It has like a bandage mechanic to hide and possibly heal if you can get away, and etc. So it sounds like you get into a level, it locks up a zone, and whoever wins gets this chest. This is something that we have to do.
Yes, it is. And Billifant is the, as of right now, for the alpha, it's the final zone that you're going to be getting to, right? And it's right here. I don't know where it is in here, but I definitely want to get in there and fight for this chest. And I really like that. Player versus player battling for this chest. I mean, I don't know if they have more of these events planned or different types of events planned for PvP, but I'm excited to hear that they are acknowledging that PvP extends the life of games, right? PvP is, I mean, people right now, different genre, but Call of Duty. I would buy Call of Duty and never play the campaign. I would just buy it and throw in multiplayer. And I would spend hours doing multiplayer. That's what extends life of so many games, especially these days. It's what a lot of people are looking forward to. So having PvP inside of Diablo Immortal, I think, is going to be huge. They see that, which is great. So
I'm pretty excited about it. I feel like PvP needed to come to this. Like, I know a lot of people have been asking for PvP in Diablo 3, and there's really like no way to scale PvP, right? Between the characters and classes. But I honestly think that this game was built and designed kind of with PvP. I'm really excited to see what kind of elements are we going to have with PvP. Are we going to have like a player versus player? Are we going to have a team versus team environment? Is it going to be more of like capture the flag and that type of stuff? Or are we going to go in and maybe do like the PvPE type of stuff where, you know, we have to clear a dungeon as a team and do it the fastest way? There's a lot of possibilities for PvP action. And like you said, PvP creates its own content.
Right.
You know, you play, you do your thing, you finish the game, and, you know, some people get bored. They want to go and play against other players. This is where the end game is for them. So this is really exciting that the Blizzard team is definitely bringing PvP to Diablo right here in Immortal. I can't wait.
It seems like the Blizzard team actually understands what's going on in the gaming industry. How crazy is that, right?
Yeah, for sure. They're amazing. I'm not gonna keep saying it, but I finally met them and I finally was able to talk to them. They're a breath of fresh air to talk to them and to hear. They understand and hear, and they know what's going on. They're plugged into the community. And I cannot wait for everybody to start playing Immortal, because I think you'll feel the same way as we do. It's amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Now, Nine is asking you. I love how one of the people that has access to the game is asking us all these questions. Thank you, Nine. So he's asking what our favorite features are. And honestly, one of my favorite things about the game is just how much it's like a PC gaming experience and how much it's not like your typical mobile gaming experience. I'm really happy with the depth of the game and how there's so much to do and how I could spend easily 8 hours a day playing this game, which is part of the reason why I started streaming daily on Twitch. Because if I'm gonna be playing it and grinding it, why not do it with an audience and with you guys there? It makes it easy because there's always content, there's always stuff to do. And if you don't want to, you don't have to grind your bounty board every day, you don't have to do rifts every day, you don't have to, but there are rewards if you do. There's also rewards, you know, more typical, like log in every day, you get your login rewards. That's your typical get your players to get into the game every day mobile strategy. But then they have a lot more depth to things. I mean, you can get rewards from spending 5 minutes doing a few quick things in the game, or you could spend the hour and a half, do your bounty board, and get all those extended rewards per day. I think that they really have been spot on with merging a mobile experience with a PC gaming experience to make this a game that the PC people that are going to try it out, because you know they're going to, they're going to say, wow, this actually doesn't suck. This is really a good game. Maybe I don't like the controls because I'm a PC guy, but it really is a good game. Now, with that being said, it's most likely going to be available via BlueStacks when it does release. Now, another thing that I really love is the vastness, yet the social element. The game is massive, tens of thousands of people on a server, but you could narrow everything down and you could keep your group of people together through the social elements and really not lose anyone because, you know, maybe the world is so big you feel like you can get lost. Well, here you can have your friends, you could have your guild, which can hold up to 100 people, by the way, as of right now, and you know, you could have that more honed in experience. So the social element of the game, I haven't seen any social element in any other game like this before. I think that it's, I mean, you can literally click on a character in the game, look at all their gear, chat with them, friend them, send them voice notes. Like, you really can be on top of keeping a social presence inside of the game. So I know that's a lot of stuff and a little bit broad, but I do love how it's so big, yet you don't have to engage in that massive worldness if you don't want to. And really just the way that they put together mobile, PC, made it fit in one game on mobile. How about you, Nemo?
I have. There's. This is a tough one. Nine Ball is firing tough questions at us, man.
Love that, man.
He's sitting over there. I love you, Nine. So let me see. Okay, so two of my favorite parts. Number one is the fact that this is an extension and an improvement of Diablo. I really feel like I played Diablo for a long time. Well, a lot of us have, and I feel like I'm coming in here, and this is just like more Diablo, improved Diablo, better Diablo, refreshed Diablo. It's just like, that's what I love about it. That's the one thing. And the second part, my second favorite part, is the fact that we're able to dive into more of a Diablo story. Like, I love how they made this game in between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. This is like watching, you know, a couple of like good movies and then having a backstory to them, having another movie that jumps back, like The Matrix. You know what I mean? Like being able to like see the first Matrix, which was fun, finding out about what's going on, but in the second and the third one, finding out that there's Zion, finding out that there's a whole bunch of people. I mean, this is great that we're able to dive into Diablo's story, get the lore, get all this stuff, find out what's going on, and then be able to jump to Diablo 4 and find out what happens after. So we have Diablo 2, 1, 2, then we have Immortal, then we have 3, and then we're going to have 4. They're firing Diablo at us, and I love the fact I'm able to kind of understand the story better, live it more. It's really exciting. So that's probably my favorite part, that they brought some of that Diablo 2 over to Diablo Immortal.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. Now, I'm going to take this last question in the chat, and then we'll close out the show and let everyone know where they can find it afterward. But we have Skipper asking a question saying he just joined. Phone versus tablet. I'm playing it on tablet. Nemo's playing it on tablet, but I also played it on the phone at BlizzCon. The reason I'm playing it on tablet, one, for content creation, I like that my camera is off to the side, not covering up the screen, not covering up any real estate of the game. I just like how it looks better for content. I also like that I can see the game better, right? I like that I have a bigger screen to see what's going on. But something that's cool about the phone is it feels more like a controller in your hand because the phone is smaller. Do I feel that a 6-inch phone is too small to play the game on? No. As you can see, the characters are not these little tiny things. They take up a good enough space on the screen without overwhelming the screen, but without being too small either. There's no way as of right now to zoom in on your character or zoom out to give yourself that different depth, but I feel like they kind of nailed it as far as the sizing of your character running around to fit both, you know, a mobile phone or playing on your tablet. So I'm happy with it. I'm actually thinking, because right now I don't have anything on my phone, I may start one character on my phone just to test it out. Maybe I'll do a barbarian on my phone or something just to try it out, to see what it actually feels like and to compare, right? To see how it is on phone versus mobile, maybe make a few videos on it. Good question though, Skipper. And like we said, that's going to be the last question of this show. So as we close things out, we'll get back to the cams, and I'm going to remind you guys that the Immortal podcast used to be exclusively on YouTube, streamed there, and then put there as a video. But I figured, since I'm making this dive into Twitch, we're live here every day. Let's keep all the live content on Twitch, and then we can bring it over later as a video. So with that being said, this is all being recorded right now. I'm gonna clean it up after the show, and I'm gonna be uploading it to my YouTube channel, ECHO Gaming Diablo, directly after this. So, you know, give it an hour or so, and we'll be ready to go. If you missed the beginning, if you missed the middle, or if you're missing this, I guess, you could go watch the whole thing over again over there to see whatever questions we talked about. And again, the Immortal podcast is driven by the community, by you guys. We had a few discussion topics and you guys drove the rest of the show, and that's what makes this beautiful. Now, in the future, we're calling it out right here. We hope to bring on some of the Diablo team to get some in-depth and inside looks at their thoughts and stuff like that. Plus, we usually have a guest on. Last week, we had Nineball in here. This week, I decided that it would just be Nemo and I, because there's a lot of gameplay to show, right? But next week, or yeah, actually, we're back next week. I'm not sure if we're going to have a guest next week or not. Maybe we will. We'll have to see. But that's the format of the show. Come back next time we're live. You can follow over on Twitter. Nemo and I are both on Twitter. Come through the Discord servers. Follow the YouTube channels. You will get notifications when we're live. These shows are on Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and then put on my YouTube channel afterward if you happen to miss it live. But who doesn't want to get in on some live discussion, right? You need to have your questions answered. But Nemo, last things you want to say before we head out, man?
Thanks so much for everyone for stopping by. I'm really pumped and excited to jump back into Immortal, and I cannot wait for the next episode, because we're going to have a lot more depth, a lot more stuff that we're going to talk about, and maybe someone can come join us, who knows, but we're going to have a lot of things. We're going to be diving deep into Immortal. We haven't been sleeping, we haven't been eating, we've just been playing Immortal, and I can't wait to share more of it with you. Thanks so much for being here with us on Sunday. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you all so much. It's all about you guys in the chat here. That's what this show's all about. And I appreciate you. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for everyone that followed over here on Twitch. And yeah, a lot of familiar faces too. I see you guys in there. Thanks for coming through. But we'll be back soon. Love you guys. Be good.